I, Olusegun Obasanjo,
I, Olusegun Obasanjo,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
to the Federal Republic of Nigeria,
and that I will preserve, protect, and defend
the
Constitution
Constitution
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And so the journey of Nigeria's democratic government rule began. Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, has made several attempts on democratic rule of government before May 29, 1999. During these years of experiments, the Nigerian military repeatedly disrupted the process of democratic rule by overthrowing the government and seizing power.
By the timely intervention of the armed forces, the people of Nigeria have another opportunity to start again in the task of rebuilding the nation.
Today, being Democracy Day in Nigeria, we will dive into Nigeria's democratic journey, explaining its triumphs, its tribulation, and the enduring debates surrounding its true nature. Since 1999, Nigeria has embarked on its fourth republic, a continuous civil rule following decades of military involvement. May 29, 1999 was declared Democracy Day. It's a day set aside every year to celebrate Nigeria's democratic rule. Olusegun Obasanjo was sworn in as president on that day, signaling the start of a new era of democratic governance restoration in Nigeria. Meanwhile, June 12th was a turning point in the nation's history, since it was the day that late Chief Moshood Abiola, also known as MKO, won the election of June 12, 1993. Nevertheless, the election was deemed null and void, and he was refused his mandate.
It is true that the presidential election was generally seen to be free, fair, and peaceful. However, there was in fact a huge array of electoral practices virtually in all the states of the Federation before the actual voting began.
President Muhammadu Buhari on June 6, 2018 declared that Nigeria's Democracy Day will now be celebrated on June 12th rather than May 29th. The goal of this action was to commemorate Chief MKO Abiola and everyone who lost their lives in the struggle for civilian government return. This announcement came 25 years after the nation held an election that was lauded by both democratic, domestic, and international observers as the fairest and most freest. But what has the journey yielded? 1. Increased political space that give room for political parties, open civil spaces, greater freedom of expression, and the right to question government policies. 2. Improved electoral processes. 3. Separation of powers. The three arms of government theoretically provide checks and balances, offering a different dynamic from military regime. And job creation. The pains. Number 1, corruption. 2, widespread of insecurity plagued the nation. 3, poverty and unemployment. 4, ethno-religious conflicts. 5, weak institutions and rule of law. 6, electoral malpractices. And 7, disconnected governance.
I just want to emphasize that for all the shared strategic interests between Nigeria and the United States of America, President Clinton and myself share a common view that is based on human welfare, human development, and human well-being in both our countries, our continents, and throughout the world.
All of us in the American delegation know that after so many years of despair and plunder, your journey has not been easy. But we are also committed to working with the people of Nigeria to help build stronger institutions, improve education, fight disease, crime, and corruption, ease the burden of debt, and promote trade and investment in a way that brings more of the benefits of prosperity to people who have embraced democracy.
Over the years, Nigeria's democracy has been significantly influenced by international actors. Where they promote liberal democracy, the Western nations, particularly the US, actively promote democratic governance in Nigeria through various strategies, including funding civil society organizations, supporting electoral bodies, provide significant aid for governance, security, and development. However, many Nigerians, both home and abroad, have argued that this Western style of democracy has oversimplified the complex realities and can lead to instability when not adapted to Nigerian context, with concerns about dominance and the imposition of external will. So beyond the political rhetoric and academic debates, what do ordinary Nigerians on the street truly think about the gift of democracy?
Gbogbo ohun tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí pátápátá látòrí June 12 ni gbogbo ẹ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Látòrí June 12 ni gbogbo ẹ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ wá. Fẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀ rí tí a bá ti ní good leader, wàhálà ni o. Àwa yìí sì àwa ti dàgbà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ táwọn ọmọ wa, àwọn youth yẹn gangan là ń bẹ̀bẹ̀ fún kí ìjọba yìí, ìjọba Tinubu tó wà ńbẹ̀ yìí, kó síjú àánú wò wá. Ebi pọ̀. Ebi táwọn yìí ti pọ̀ jù. Because tẹ́ ẹ bá ra rice 1,000 naira kò lè bẹ̀lẹ̀ fún kí ẹ tiẹ̀ lè yó ẹ ní mọ̀ pé ẹ jẹun. So káwá sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọ tá à ń rán nílé ìwé èló la fẹ́ máa fún wọn lọ, èló gan làwa gan rí èdè. So kí wọ́n jọ torí tọ́lọ́run kí wọ́n tiẹ̀ wọ́n help àwa mẹ̀kúnnù kí wọ́n ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Every Lagos State taxi driver and cab operator vote for Abiola by that time, and I know that the elections go peacefully. After they annul the election, there's a serious riot. Since that time, we don't enjoy this Nigeria. Because agbára wa ò dé òkè, àwa ò dé lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yìí ṣe wá sí agbára wa ò dọ́dọ̀ president, so kò dọ́dọ̀ chairman local government. But ìbò ló tún bọ̀ yín sí, wọ́n tún fẹ́ ká dìbò fáwọn. Kí àwọn náà ṣe dáadáa pẹ̀lú wa, wọ́n rántí pé mẹ̀kúnnù ló ń dìbò. So tá a bá wá dìbò yẹn tán, tí wọ́n bá ti wọlé tán, wọ́n ò rántí wa mọ́.
In another time, I think was also good. So when he went there now we want know what Jonathan has done. If Jonathan can if Jonathan is okay, when Buhari come, they say Buhari is bad. Buhari has gone again now. Some people are saying Tinubu is so that's how the system of democracy in Nigeria is. But I prefer the democracy, civil government and military.
Democracy have not, for me, has not favored me. Because since the day from the beginning of since I would grow up, I have not seen anything significant they do for us. They always fight for their pockets. All they do is just themselves. And if they promise you I will do this when I get there, when I get there is just about themselves. From councillor to president, they are all the same. There's nothing different among them. They are just fighting for their pockets.
So well, as Nigeria marks another Democracy Day, the question, a Trojan horse or not, remains unanswered. The gift of democracy has brought freedoms, but also exposed deep-seated challenges of governance, corruption, and inequality that still lingers on. But again, it is a journey still unfolding, demanding constant vigilance, accountability, and renewed commitment from both leaders and citizens to truly unlock its potential and ensure it serves the many, not just the few. So, the power and indeed the burden of shaping Nigeria's democratic future lies with all of us. Would you say that democracy has favored you, or would you have preferred military regime? Onyeka Valentine is my name, BDTV. Until next time, let's enjoy where we are.